I'm so excited to see you tonight.
First date, baby. First date, I can't wait. First date.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of First Date. My guest today, you may recognize him from his time as a co-host on Loveline or his podcast, Work in Progress. Give it up for Mike Catherwood.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
What is your podcast about? I
like to say that it's the fitness podcast for people who don't like fitness shit.
Yeah.
Because I love pumping iron. I love eating healthy and all. I love everything about it. It's been really vital, not to sound too heady about it, it's, because it's fucking lifting weights, but it's been really vital in my self-development, especially like when I got clean. But all the like fitness influencer culture and everything, it disgusts me. So I try to steer away from that. And I go like, if you don't want to hear about trendy diets and bullshit and stuff that's going to be relevant for 45 seconds, like this is, if you're a parent, you have a real job, you have a real life, this is your show.
Yeah, so it inspires people to stick to something long term.
I hope so. I mean, if anything, I think more so it makes the idea of getting results when it comes to whether it be performance or looking in the mirror and being happy, like it makes it seem realistic, because now, especially a lot of the stuff you intake, it's like 22-year-old people on drugs or with God tier genetics or both. And that it just doesn't seem realistic. So I like to really help people at least recognize like it's not too much time. It's not too much effort. You really can do it.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. So we were just talking about kids. I'm on baby number 2. I'm due in a couple of weeks. You have one. How old? Is it a boy or girl?
Girl.
How old is she?
She's 12.
Okay. So you're out of the thick of it.
Yeah. I mean, in many ways, as far as like the overwhelming burden of
babies,
they literally can't take care of themselves. Yeah. We're out of it. She's like an adult now in many ways, but I'm definitely in more of the thick of it in that she has feelings and opinions. And
yeah.
And girl feelings and stuff. I feel really helpless a lot because there's a lot of things my daughter's experiencing, and I just don't fucking get it. I just don't, and I want to so bad. But luckily, my wife and her have a great relationship. So
that's good.
Yeah.
How long have you been married?
It'll be 14 years in December.
Congratulations.
It will be 14 years. Yeah, this December.
How'd you guys meet?
On my radio show.
Really?
She was a guest on my show.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It was kind of. Yeah, and Dr. Drew was trying to help her get me to understand that there is like a potential romance there.
So he was like your wingman?
Dr. Drew's always my wingman. He definitely has my best interest, especially when I was single. Dr. Drew was like the best wingman ever. The problem with Dr. Drew is that he doesn't realize he's Dr. Drew. And what I mean by that is like, I remember one time he got back from New York and he goes, and this is like weeks after it opened, okay? And he goes, you got to go see Book of Mormon. And I go, okay. I was like, I love South Park. I'm sure it's probably very... He says, dude, it's so funny, but you got to go backstage, okay, and you got to sit right there in the front row. And then if you can, maybe get the experience where they go, they have a meet and greet after. I was like, Drew, you understand people did that for you because you're Dr. Drew. Like, no one's going to fucking front me the thousands of dollars. He's like, no. And I was like, you really don't get it. He's like... He'll be like, do you know Bill Maher? You friends? I was like, no, I don't. And it's very sincere, Yeah. And so Drew, every girl that was a guest on the show, he's like, she's into you, bro. She said, and I'd be like, I just met her husband, fuckface. like I just came from talking to her husband. And by the way, he's in the NBA, so go fuck yourself. And he's like, no. So he's a little bit too pie in the sky and optimistic, but he was by far the best wingman, even in my marriage. So.
Well, one out of like all of them worked.
Yeah, for sure. One time there was this girl. She was like her purpose in life was she was a model. That what people took pictures of her and gave her money for that because she was so impossibly hot, right? Drew doesn't get there. I get there a little bit early, and she's and like kind of my type, like an ethnic. She was Hispanic, and I was like, God damn, this girl. She's engaged to Michael Phelps, and she's telling me about how she's engaged to Michael Phelps, and it's like months after he just won 5,000 gold medals. Drew sits down. We do the first break. We go to commercial break. She's like, I need to use the restroom. She's like, dude, she is so into you. I was like, fuck you. She's engaged. Oh, really? To Michael Phelps. He's like, oh, wow. But you guys seem to have a good rapport. I was like, she's at work. I'm a fucking host. What do you...
That is so funny. Yes. He's been wanting you to hook up with girls his whole life.
Yeah. Did you feel like... Because Drew's been married since like...
He was 10?
BC era. So like... I do think like there's a weird... Like he... I don't know. I think it was some of Corolla's like people. They stumbled across a picture of Dr. Drew at like 16, and he had like long hair and looked like a total like Jeff Spicoli.
That is so hard to imagine.
I know, because he's Drew. He like sings opera and he's a doctor and the whole thing. And I do think that there's some wanting to live vicariously through me in being a shithead boner like idiot guy who just like has sex with everyone he meets and party like his life.
Because you guys are polar opposites.
Yeah, no, for sure. I like he encourages me to be more childish. All the stuff my wife doesn't like. Drew's in my like the devil on my shoulder going, no, I love when you waft farts into everybody's at dinner at a nice restaurant.
So after your wife was on the show,
yeah.
She obviously wasn't your wife back then. You guys had just met.
No,
right?
I wasn't on a TV show where I was married before I met her.
But you had met her on the show when she came on. That was like
the first time I met her. Yeah,
the first time that you guys met. And then did you just ask for her number afterwards?
Nope. She gave the producer of the show her number to give to me, which never got to me. And then she...
What a shit producer.
I know. Yeah, you're totally right.
You're like, it was Dr. Drew.
No, I know. I think from her perspective, I think she thought it was like, I don't know, for business reasons or something. I have no concept of why I never got the message, right? And then she started like tweeting me because there was no Instagram and stuff back then. This is like 2011-ish. And so she like tweeted me a couple times and stuff. And I just thought like, this is a person who had fun on the show, and I did enjoy her company. But there's a lot of really impossibly good-looking people. Most of the time, guests are performers or models or reality stars or that are attractive. And I always assume like, well, they're here because they're at work. I never made like the connection that there might be something I could dovetail out of that, and I just didn't see it that way until she finally, I guess she was on a show at the time called Rules of Engagement on CBS. And another actor on the show came like a month later, and her name was Wendy McClendon Covey. And she sat down and I go, you're on Rules of Engagement, right? And this is off the air. I was like, she goes, yeah. I go, oh yeah, Bianca Kylik, she's a looker. Tell her I said hello. And that was all I meant by it. And she went back to work the next day and told Bianca, oh, that guy at Loveline, he said to say hello. He said, you're very beautiful, blah, 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 blah. And then she DM'd me on Twitter. Like, do we need to have a conversation? Like, and I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I think I responded, what are you talking about? And then she's like, what do I have to do here? Do you want to go on a date at some, she kind of backed me into a corner. I was like, oh yeah. If that's on the table, hell yeah. Let's do it. And that's how we met. And that's how we kind of started everything. And I did not know, I lived in Venice and she did too. I didn't know that. And I went to pick her up for our first date, and I was like, "So, give me your address." And it was like 400 yards away.
No
Yeah.
way.
And then
Do you remember where you went for your first date?
Chinois on Main, the Wolfgang Puck restaurant.
I don't think I know that restaurant.
It's probably like most things on the West Side. It's probably not there anymore. But it was
I lived in Venice for a long time.
It
so
was
I figured I might know.
on Main, right in Santa Monica. It was Wolfgang Puck's Chinese restaurant. I loved it. She seemed to like it. I mean,
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah.
And
At least by my own estimation, I'm not good at dating.
No,
No, because I always get in my own head about like, and it's not like I fall back into pickup lines and like old trite nonsense. I just like, am I being too forward? Am I being too reserved? Am I being too much of a
so
fucking
you second
bro?
guess yourself.
Yeah, I get, because then I'm not by nature a particularly insecure guy, but at the same time, there is those moments, especially when you're introducing like a romantic environment. I start to question if am I being too bro-y? Am I being too like fake reserved, fake gentlemanly, or am I going too far in the opposite direction? And then I have my internal, next thing I know, it's been 45 seconds and I haven't said a goddamn word. She's just staring at me like, so.
Have you been in many long-term relationships?
Not really. Not in, when you look at like the proportion of girls I've dated or, been with, it's been very little. I was married before. I got married really young.
How long were you married for?
4 years, 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's still a significant amount of time. How old were you?
25.
Okay.
And then-
A short marriage to me is under 2 years.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it probably did die within under 2 years, but we kept it going for.
Yeah.
I have nothing negative. It wasn't infidelity. It wasn't abuse or cheat. It just, we naturally drifted apart, and I think she had the strength and courage to actually confront that, where I would have just let it go on for 50 years.
Yeah.
Just kind of not talking. And
This episode is sponsored by Ro. So many people assume GLP-1 medications cost a fortune, and that alone keeps them from looking into treatment. But the reality is, GLP-1 medications may be more affordable than you think. With Ro's free insurance checker, it's easy to see if you're covered for GLP-1 injections. Just submit your insurance card and Ro sends you a full report on your coverage. No paperwork, no waiting on hold, just a heads up. The insurance checker only checks coverage for GLP-1 injections. And if you don't have insurance coverage, don't sweat. Ro offers the lowest cost, cash pay, FDA-approved GLP-1s, including newer dosage forms like daily pills and multi-dose pens. Join the over 3 million people who've trusted Ro on their weight loss journey. I can't wait to pop this baby out and get on a GLP-1 myself. Go to ro.co/firstdate to see if you qualify. That's ro.co/firstdate to get started on Ro. For side effects of GLP-1 medications, including boxed warning, go to ro.co/safety. How do you break up with someone when you don't want to be with them anymore?
I don't.
You're one of the people that just kind of sits there and waits till they do it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
how? How do you live like that?
If under those circumstances, if I'm willing to be in like what would be looked at as a relationship where you would have to say we're breaking up, that girl's probably fucking crazy hot. And that's how I deal with it. I mean, that's
So
how
you're dating too good of looking people.
Not all the time, but certainly once I became single after my first marriage and then was on TV. Yeah. It was a bit like, I don't know if I really enjoy spending time with this person, but fucking, like, as long as there's still the potential that she'll let me have sex with her, that I'll continue this going.
That is such a low bar.
I know.
That's like a girl saying, like she's falling for a guy because he texts her in the morning and says, hey.
It's the guy's version of, yeah, but he's rich.
Yeah.
Where a girl will be like, he sucks. He's not even that attractive.
But he's rich.
But he makes a couple million a month. You just go like, I don't see. I think, and a lot of guys are the same way. You kind of erase so much when a girl's really, really attractive.
Yeah.
And I did that. And there also, I was like, I'm not trying to get out of it. There was definitely a fear of confronting that, having enough strength to step forward and be like, this isn't working out for me. We really need to figure out how we can break up. I get weird about it and I get scared.
Yeah. So. The universe has always had my back in breakups. So if I don't want to
like
be...
they die?
One did.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to make it but when you say the universe has my back, that's like a pretty good...
But I didn't want to break up with that one.
Oh, even better. The universe is really looking out for you.
There was one guy that I really didn't want to be with anymore. And I swear I thought he was gay. And he was into journaling, which is probably why I thought he was gay.
Yeah.
And he encouraged me to start journaling. So I journaled everything I didn't like about him.
Yeah.
And then he read it. And then 3 days later, that was over. And
without your permission, he read it?
Yeah.
What the fuck's wrong with him?
He was gay.
He was. Journaling alone, and it's not like a stoic guy who's like secretly for 10 minutes I write down my video. He then encouraged you to journal.
He encouraged
That's
me.
That's gayer than like a bukkake film. Like that's insane.
I left the house one day and then I came home and he was sitting in a corner bawling his eyes out. And I was like, oh my God, are you okay? And he was like, I was cleaning the house and I bumped into the couch and your journal fell open to page 3. And it was this long list of things you didn't like about me. And I'm like, well, if you would have turned to page 2, you would have seen the 3 things I did like about you.
Fair enough. And if you weren't snooping and reading shit you shouldn't be reading.
Yeah. Also, you did not clean this house.
No, it was burning a hole in his eyeballs. He just and he talked to himself for 45 minutes. He's like, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. I have
he had to do it.
Yeah.
So there was that. And then there was another guy. I was married as well. Mm-hmm. And I was not in love anymore. Yeah. We were not getting along. We were married for almost 7 years. And it was in my early 20s. And I knew that I was so unhappy. But in marriage, it's different than just a relationship because you're like, you have a wedding and you have vows and you have these promises. Yep. And you're like, I want to stick this out and maybe it can get better. But it wasn't getting better. It was getting worse. And then he cheated on me and I caught him. So that was like...
That is solid universe looking out for you.
Yeah, exactly. So things like that have always helped me get out of relationships.
I'd be interested to get your take on it, from a female perspective. I also think, and you're considerably younger than I am, but either way, there was a generational thing that I do feel, maybe I'm being a little bit optimistic, but I do feel like it's ending. There was a generational thing where what we knew of marriage was that you kind of weren't happy.
Yeah, that's been
there was a very
line for
Al Bundy
kind
of King of Queens thing where it's like your wife doesn't want to bang
you don't have sex anymore.
Yeah, and everyone
marriage
just bitches
sucks.
and moans about how everyone, and
yeah.
And I certainly, not to air out anybody's dirty laundry, but I think that was the example certainly in my household. My parents are still married for a really long time, but it wasn't like I can never recall ever my parents saying I love you to each other or like holding each other's hands and shit, and that was, I think, very common, like the model that was.
I don't remember my parents ever holding hands, and they were married for like 40 years or something.
And so, and maybe you always try to course correct and do but I do think that there's definitely a part of me that tries to go really hard in that environment, like let my daughter see it, and she gets all. It's very funny because she'll be like when we're kissing. But I think there's something to that where you weren't necessarily taught that was how. And I think there's obviously an extreme alternative where it's too perfect and that everyone, it's just, I can't believe how lucky I am to have you, honey. And of course it doesn't have to be that extreme, but the alternative was kind of all I ever really saw. Well,
Instagram really paints people's pictures that are in relationships sometimes, where you can just highlight all the really good things that are going on. And it does seem, there's always a red flag to me when things seem too perfect. I'm like, this is all sounding too good.
Yeah. And then, well, I mean, I feel that way about how performative everything's become with social media. But even when people talk about, like, I was at jiu-jitsu talking to guys who are professional fighters and things, and we were laughing about how the guy who says, you don't want to see me when I'm angry because I'll wreck the whole bar because I'm like, real tough guys don't say that. They would never outwardly have to say that because it's just kind of comfort. And then also they've been humbled so many times and not succeeded and gotten their ass kicked that they just don't feel that. But if you have this need to project ideas, almost always it's because that's totally not true.
Yeah.
Like, my wife is an angel. I was like, we were talking about football. What the fuck?
Where did that come
like,
from?
Where did that come from? What gaps are you filling right now,
Yeah.
This is the way I look at it, but I'm a fucking idiot, so.
How long did you date your wife before you proposed?
Not very long. Like 4 or 5 months.
Really?
Yeah.
You just knew?
I did. And I was just talking to some of your staff because they're young and they're engaged. And I was saying, don't feel pressured to let your engagement go a long time because you guys are young. I was at a different phase of my life and I had become pretty successful as a bachelor where I felt like I don't want to say exhausted, but I felt very comfortable that I had sowed my wild oats, the whole thing. And actually this is going to sound so bitch, but I actually got to the point where I started to feel bad. There was a sense of internal turmoil of like consistent one night stands or like new partners so frequently. I would find myself like getting back home and I was like, what am I doing? I mean, it's just, I'm using a human being like glorified masturbation. Like I have no desire to develop anything with this girl, but she allowed me to use holes on her body. And I probably pretended to be a completely different person in order to make that seem like a good idea.
Yeah.
And now I'm home and I've come and I don't.
Did you never want to see any of them again? Like you just didn't care to?
I had one like real relationship between my ex-wife and my current wife. And she was important to me and it was very real. But outside of that, not particularly.
It's when I would go on dates single, if I would go out with you and I didn't like you, I would get like an ick.
Yeah.
And I'd just be like, ugh, I just don't want to see you again. And I wouldn't even like there'd be this like magnetic opposing poles where I wouldn't want anything to do. It was very hard for me to ever like hook up with someone.
Right.
That I even thought was just attractive. Like there had to be, you got to make me laugh. You have to spark my curiosity. You have to make me want to talk to you.
Yeah, I'd be fucked if we dated. You would not want to do any of those things.
There has to be something for me to go a second date.
Yeah, I get that. And I think that I was cognizant of that too. And what I was talking about how I felt bad about myself. There were a couple girls, and I really do like, as people, I actually like them and we still talk. There were a couple girls who were like, my friends in bands had also partook in them or they were in the adult industry.
Oh, okay.
And everyone was kind of aware of what was like, this is not a thing, but
right.
I find you attractive, vice versa. Let's go.
Well, so then it was mutual.
And I always like that seemed reasonably enjoyable. It was continuously enjoyable.
Yeah.
It was when I would be on dates and I think I was having the experience you were just describing. I was like, this girl and I don't, but I would still continue to perpetuate the idea that like, oh, this is going great so that I could.
Well, guys and girls are also very different.
Yeah.
And I have a son, and I realize that even at him being 16 months old, I'm like, you're a psychopath.
Yeah. No, and boys, especially like I won't even say teenagers, like sub 30-year-old men.
Yeah.
You're animals.
Yeah.
And it's, I get really turned off by a lot, not all, but a lot of this new wave feminism stuff, because it's one thing to say women don't deserve to be oppressed. Women don't deserve to be mistreated. Women don't deserve to be prevented from getting into certain segments of the professional industry, you know, blah, blah, blah. I get you. But it crossed over into guys are wrong for simply having their animal instincts.
Yeah.
Like your son has feelings and ideas that is not, there's nothing negative. That's who he is as an animal.
Yeah.
Like he gets angry or competitive, horny. Like it's totally different than how a female experiences it. And I don't like that got made out to be like there's something wrong with that, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
You know, so that's the way I feel. But it is,
I like a guy who's a man.
I agree.
Like when a man is very manly, that it just puts off the energy and the pheromone where it's like, oh my God, that's so sexy.
Yeah.
So I get
that was the hard part for me, especially because I got clean. I got clean when I was 21.
Clean from what?
I was an alcoholic and drug addict, mostly booze for sure. I was a big drinker, and then stimulants. I loved meth and cocaine. Loved it. Really loved it.
I get the feeling you really liked it.
I did. I was and you know, there's a genetic component. I'm Mexican Irish down the middle, like immigrants, both sides. And so there's a long line on both sides of my family, like really bad problems with drinking. But on top of that, I the only person who I ever heard, especially even like in a capacity of like Loveline and in the recovery community, where I'm around a lot of people who are dealing with recovery in their own personal way. The only person I ever heard say something where I went, you're right, was Tom Arnold. And Tom Arnold said, I'm this guy all the time, chatterbox, blah, 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 and I'm super frenetic and everything, but I would do coke and chill. Most people, you can't shut them up. They do a couple bumps and you're like, God, this guy's fucking annoying. Please never give this guy any blow ever again. And I would do meth or I would do cocaine, and I finally felt comfortable. I don't have to say anything. I enjoy your company. It's getting late. It's time for me to go. I just felt so comfortable in my own skin, and I didn't feel like I had to put on a show or there was no pretensions in there, and I loved that. It was so, pardon the pun, but addicting to kind of feel centered.
Yeah. Coffee does that to me.
Yeah, and I guess from what I understand, that's what, when they give people ADD or ADHD, they give them essentially stimulants, and that balances them.
Yeah.
But regular people, it makes them get all tweaked out. So makes some sense. I just know that I was also in trying to be more comfortable in my own skin. I started to quickly become a guy that was not. That was not me. That was not me who was doing that. I was really dishonest and really deceitful, and we were talking about, like, I would have these feelings of maybe I would be a little bit exploitive of girls just for sex, and I didn't think twice about that shit when I was using. I ain't fucking her feelings, fuck off. And I didn't, and I remember one night, my friend, and this was, I would already been clean like a decade or so, but I was with a buddy of mine, and he was with a girl that wasn't his girlfriend. And we were at the Laker game. And
Did he have a girlfriend?
He had a girlfriend that I knew.
And he was with another girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm not, like, do what you need to. He wanted to. He's like, can I invite so-and-so to the game? I was like, yeah, no problem. And his girlfriend called. And he's like, dude, can you do me a solid? And I took his phone and went to go, like, walk up to the concession stand area and was talking to her, telling him that we were at the game, just me and the boys. And
so he had you lie.
And I remember as I'm doing it, I felt off, like I felt awful. Like I felt horrible that I had to do it. I would have done it and I probably would have done it again because like that's my guy. But I felt fucking horrible doing it. And then in that moment, I got this weird, you know, kind of rancid recall to being an addict and telling my parents to their face, I haven't used in 2 weeks. I'm feeling great. And I'm high as I'm saying that. And I felt nothing. It was just rolled right off my back, you know, and it was like those moments, it would seem so just like yesterday. How like that I was becoming this guy that just bullshitted.
Didn't know.
And I just bullshitted. I just cheated, lied, and it didn't fucking affect me. And it disgusted me. And I'm also like, I'm not the guy who, in a much more boneheaded way, I'm not a guy who doesn't take care of himself.
Yeah.
Like if you know, everybody has that feeling where, you know, wintertime you let yourself a couple 10 pounds here and there. I'm talking about like I'm not a guy who isn't really invested in maybe it's narcissism, maybe it's vanity, maybe it's like my physique, but I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy who doesn't care what food he's putting in his mouth and doesn't exercise and stuff like that. And I was just becoming this fucking gutter punk. And
Did that phase last a long time?
I was lucky that I got clean so young because it went from 0 to 60 like that. I mean, I started drinking and using in very common kind of pedestrian way, just like parents gone for the weekend, breaking the liquor cabinet kind of thing, freshman year, smoke a little weed with the buddies. And I went to, by the time I was graduating high school, there was not a day that went by when I couldn't be inebriated, like heavily inebriated.
Man.
Yeah. So, and I think I was really lucky in that regard, in that by the time I was legally capable of drinking, I was already so fucked. I didn't have those kind of internal questions, like maybe I'm just in a bad phase of my life. Like it was like, no, I have a really serious drug problem and drinking problem.
So you were clean before you could even legally drink.
Mm-hmm. And I had been to rehab 3 times.
Oh my
before
goodness.
This final time, hopefully. So yeah.
So now you're totally sober.
Yeah.
Do you have any vices?
Caffeine for sure. If you count that. I mean, I'm still. I chewed tobacco for 20 years, and I now switched to like the nicotine pouches. So that one has to go in there because I have my little kind of crutches, but I don't. I'm by and large. I went to confession yesterday, and for non-Catholics, you kind of open up about where you've sinned. Forgive me, Father, for I've sinned, blah, blah, blah. And then you kind of list it. And I was at least a little bit happy that I had to really push it pretty hard to find where I was sinning, you know? But
dude, that would be so wild to be someone who just like sits in while people confess all the time.
I was thinking the same thing.
You know what I mean? Like you just hear everyone's dirty secrets.
And then every once in a while, you're going to get that one where it's like, oh, I lied to my wife and I've been masturbating.
Someone's like, I killed someone.
I was going to say, I beat the shit out of this guy last night. I was hammered and I'm pretty sure, I think he might be dead. And you're just like sitting there as a priest. You're like, oh.
It makes me want to be a father.
There's a lot of burden that comes with that, though, that you might not want to go into.
Oh no! Sounds like a really good podcast.
Oh, you mean from an entertainment standpoint?
No, I just mean like
no, it would be
if it like that'd be terrible if a pastor or what is it? It's a father.
Yeah, priest. Yeah.
Priest. Yeah, had his podcast and he's like, it's called Confessions.
Yeah,
and it just exploits everyone.
That'd be bananas.
Anyway, terrible. But that does intrigue me to hear like people's dirty secrets.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I mean,
who was that person in high school? Do you think that they like were already trying to get into people's, I don't know. I'm thinking way too much about this.
I don't think the motivation for people who decide to take that leap to become is confessional. I don't think that. I think that they have a very. I think
that's what I'm trying to say is that confessional would be my MO.
It would be, but why wouldn't you just be a psychiatrist or a clinical psychologist? I'm sure, Drew, who is not, he's just he's an internist. Even when he worked
I'll tell you why. Okay. Because people who go into confession feel safe.
Oh, it's anonymous, yeah.
It's anonymous. You're talking to someone who is like a hand of God. You feel safe, and you also feel like more inclined to tell a deeper secret to someone in church, right? Because that really does feel safe. If you tell a psychiatrist that you beat the shit out of someone and like you might have murdered them, that's not a safe place. They would definitely call a mental ward and 911
By law. Yeah. There's
so that's
there. It's hard.
why I'd want to be a father.
No, but I mean, I call it immoral or not. I would like that too. I would like. I mean, we used to do a bit on Loveline called Loveline Confessional, and normally you'd be like, "Hey, Bobby and Azusa, you're on Loveline. Hey, Jane in Huntington Beach, you're on Love." And then it's like, this is, you don't have to give your name, make up a fake name, whatever you want to do, but you can get anything off your chest. And I loved it. It was for that reason. Now I killed a guy, but I've been cheating on my husband for 2 years. Like, I mean, crazy. And then you talk to him like, where
Those people in Azusa, dude.
yeah, those Azusa, but that 626 gets wild.
Way too close to Covina.
I used to play on a club baseball team in Covina, and it was always like the funniest because there's these pockets of things, and they have their own in LA. They have their own like specific thing, like this specific culture, and even within the different pockets, there's like I grew up in the San Gabriel Valley. Drew and I grew up a couple miles from each other, but I grew up in Pasadena, and if you go 2 cities away, there's like no Asian people. And I grew up in Shanghai. Like, like there was no, and it was very interesting. Like there was like being a European white person was by far the minority in my neighborhood because of Hispanic and Asian. Like it was but yet you go just down the street and it's like, well, where's all the immigrants? You know,
yeah.
But, either way, like everything has this culture. I like Azusa Covina was always the haven for the map, what I used to call the map, the Mexican American prince. And they weren't cholos, they weren't street guys, but they were like, because here's the thing in Mexican culture, the sons can do no fucking wrong. Your mother will worship while she's stepping over the sister with stilts made of swords. She comes to you, mijo, do you need any? You look hungry. You're getting skinny, mijo. Yeah. And you just came from like, just like robbing a liquor. She's like, mijo, you've had a long week anyway. I understand, mijo. So there was these guys, these Mexican American princes I used to call maps. And they were like the shiny shirt guy. They weren't a cholo, but they were probably handsome. But they were so used to just having women worship the ground they walked on.
Yeah.
And then they would go to the strip club and be like, she's into me. I was like, shut the fuck up. Like, God, jeez, you gave her $150 for her to grind on your lap. Like, I know I got her number. I was like, sure. That's going to work out. Totally. It was like those guys. I always, Camaro, usually like a Camaro or like.
I lived in Covina.
Did you?
For like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. No, this is by no means a pejorative. I had a lot of my life was in West Covina, Azusa, but like those guys, you'd see them at BJ's in West Covina, or like there used to be a Hooters right across the street.
Dude, I loved BJ's in West Covina.
Yep, and there was always those guys.
I would go there and get the great white pizza, and then the Pazuki cookie thing. Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah. And oh my gosh, that was like my total jam. And then I smoked weed with a bunch of Mexican guys.
Yep.
I don't even remember where I met them.
Oh, it doesn't surprise me. I'm sure they would.
I have no idea where I met these people.
Probably,
I think maybe community college.
That tracks.
And then I would start smoking weed, and I had a Scion XB, which was a box. It was the box one. And I thought it was so hilarious to hotbox my car. And so I would stuff it full of community college Mexicans that I would meet, and we would smoke weed on campus, and then the doors would open and it would just be a hot box.
Yeah. I get you. I'm just right now thinking of the conversations those guys had as soon as you weren't around. Oh, damn, she's into me, fool. Nah, I'm gonna fuck her, dog. I'm definitely gonna fuck that wet out. She was into me, dog. You see those chichis? Damn, yeah, no, for sure. For sure. The whole time. And then you just get like, you guys want to smoke some weed? And they're like, yeah, for sure. No, for sure. Let's go to the fucking hot box. Let's hit the Scion. Damn. Hey, you want some pisto right here?
Yeah.
What are you studying?
And,
I don't
and
give
then
a
we
fuck.
go to BJ's.
Yeah. Oh, hey, can I bump a couple dollars for that Pazuki, Haina?
Dude.
Hey, can you kick down a couple
I'm
bucks?
reliving my life right now.
Kick down a couple. I'm starving, fool. We just got baked.
And then I thought they were so funny. It was just like that.
They probably were funny.
I was like, this is the time of my life, dude. And so they were so hilarious. And I remember one time this one guy's name was Alan. And
What?
His name was Alan.
What?
Also, Alan,
Never
wherever you
met-
are, I never saw him again. But
Not every Mexican guy in Southern California is Javier or Carlos, but I've never. Alan is
Alan.
fucking insane. Did
Alan.
he hang out with Dwight Gomez?
I know.
What?
Alan. And so Alan invited me over to his house and was like, do you want to watch some South Park and get stoned? And I was like, sure.
Sounds great.
And there was like 100 Mexicans there.
Oh, yeah.
Who were all smoking. And there was the mom who knew that everyone was stoned, making so much food for everybody.
Right.
Watching South Park. It had to be like a small highlight of my life. I thought it was just like, I was like, this community fucking has it so dialed in. This is so fun.
Loyalty, family, and celebration. Mexicans crush. We crush.
It was hard to fit them all. I had to pick who I wanted in the hotbox.
No, there. I think that's like a Catholic ethnic thing, not just But I remember when I moved to the East Coast, that it was a very foreign environment for me. I was living in Jersey at the time, and I met real Guidos for the first time, and it was I was like, man, it's just like being in Buena Park and meeting Carlos Lopez or something, because once you establish like, oh, this guy's cool. Hey, like my grandma makes great sauce. Let's go. You want to come over? We have some dinner. You can sleep over. Yeah, I gotta introduce you to my sister. Like they were like, you're in, and they were so cool like that. And it's the same things. Like once they can establish that you're cool, you come like it's just Thursday night. Hey, it's just Thursday night. My grandma's making tamales. Don't worry about it. It's nothing. And there's 425 people there.
Yeah.
And a live band. You're like, oh fuck. All right.
It's like, and then there's just one tiny TV that everybody sits around.
Yeah, and it's like an old man watching a soccer game. Like Cruz Azul playing live from Mexico. And you're like, what the fuck?
But there would be a live band, and there would be like a crazy house party on a random Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah, I think that it's a celebratory. It's a very vibrant. I do love that aspect.
So shout out to Azusa.
Azusa 626 represent.
Oh, I miss those days. How life has changed.
I know. I'm a farmer in Texas.
What do you farm?
Goats, donkeys, a shit ton of birds, guinea fowl, chicken. I have so many cats and dogs.
So I thought we were going to go the food. We're not eating. Are we eating these?
I eat the eggs. I don't eat.
Okay.
And occasionally we'll eat.
Do we
milk.
farm any vegetables?
Yeah, but a lot of it's very like hipster homesteading, our vegetable stuff. Like we're real farmers when it comes to the animals. I have 30 acres and roaming and the whole thing. And
do you sell them?
No, not really. I have it's crazy pet. I have crazy pets. A crazy amount of pets. That's what they are.
Is it a lot of work?
Yeah.
It sounds.
It's really worth it though. I do feel that way. And I was talking to your staff before we got on, and like I don't want to be that guy like every other coastal jerk that moved to Texas or Nashville when COVID hit, and then they're like, this is how real people live their lives. Like, no, but I will say this, like I'd have 4 or 5 jobs at the same time, not real person jobs, but like I host a TV show and then a morning show at night and then blah, blah, blah. I'm going across, and I still would always find these couple hours all the time where it's like, oh, I'm going to Netflix something. Like I heard about this Tiger King seems to be blowing. I'll fucking watch this. There's none of that in my life. There's constantly like a really important purpose in my life. Obviously, priority number 1 is my family.
Yeah.
But then after that, I'd be, oh, it's going to rain tonight. I better get those baby goats in or they're going to fucking freeze to death and die. And then you don't think like I'm tired. You go like put your boots and jacket on. You go and then and feeding them and nourishing them, making sure they have water when it's hot as fucking summer in Texas. Like,
are they pygmy goats?
Well, a couple of them are. Yeah.
Do you ever?
I have a variety of breeds of goats, but like the baby goats, like fresh out the chute, They're so impossibly cute. It ruins my day. It ruins my life because I can't go do stuff.
You're like, I need to be around these
Yeah,
baby
and
goats.
they jump and spin for no, like they're not efficient. They'll be over there and be like, Timmy, come here, dude. And instead of just walking to you, they jump and spin and bounce around, and you're like, oh fuck, you're awesome. You're like a Wonka toy. You're like a Wonka. I love you.
Have you seen the onesie pajamas that you can put them in?
No.
They have these pajamas, and they look like little onesies, and they go on little baby goats, and they are the cutest.
That's for Gwyneth Paltrow's farm, trust me, because like I will tell you right now, they'll eat that shit right. His buddy is coming over to nibble that shit, rip it right the fuck off his body, and chew it up. They ate my friend's guitar.
Whoa.
Yeah, just luckily it was like a cheap, like a practice guitar. It wasn't like, but acoustic guitar, and they ate it. And when I say they ate it, there was fucking strings lying on the ground, and they're like, oh, dude,
just ate the guitar.
Yeah. And we had to separate. Like, you have to figure out ways to separate it from. Like, we can't have our cars around the goats. We can't have outdoor furniture. It's all going in their bellies if they, you know.
That's so wild.
It's pretty sweet.
It's like my son.
Yeah.
He
Like
eats everything.
No, like an 8th grade boys. It's very similar. And he's like, I don't even know if I like that, but fuck it, you know.
Someone hands something to my kid, and I'm just like, don't give that to him. He'll eat it.
Yeah.
Don't do that. If you like it, keep it.
But I think that's healthy. It actually bothers me as like, it does. It bothers me as like Mr. Fitness Health guy that there's, because of Reddit, because of TikTok, because of Instagram, blah, blah, blah. There's 14-year-old boys trying to diet like they're me. You know, like, I better watch my carb intake, and I'm gonna, that type of protein digest too quickly. And I was like, dude, just get high protein, good, but fucking eat. Like you're literally growing. You understand that, right?
Yeah.
Like even if you don't grow muscle, like you're growing.
You're growing.
Yeah, I don't know. That the whole. You're in your mid 40s and you want to get your shit together and you want to like really dial in your diet. Okay, good. But now because, like I said, because of Reddit and stuff, you have like 15-year-old carnivores, and I'm like, dude,
go enjoy your life. Eat a lot
please.
of food and go do sports.
Yes.
Go run around and burn it off.
Go look for puss. By the way, that's a thing. I think, and I don't know. I'm not. It's outside my pay grade, but it's crazy how unmotivated teenage and college age boys seem to be over girls. And maybe it's the apps because I didn't have that.
Yeah.
But we would drive to San Francisco on it like Friday at 4 p.m. It's like, these chicks are hot. I hear one of them's a slut, and we're like, done. And we're high five, boo. Like we would walk over broken glass. And I'm not saying everyone be gross, but there was something. No one motivated us that we genuinely felt. I was so into chicks, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like that's died out. And same with all young men I meet. Especially, I meet a lot. I don't kind of bump elbows with too many 21-year-old men, but a lot at jiu-jitsu. A lot of times I do. And Austin's really becoming like this insane hotbed of grappling. And I was hanging out with these guys, and they're good. Yeah, they're really nice guys. And they were UT students, and like 3 of the 5 didn't have their driver's license. They didn't have any desire to drive. And I was like, do you understand? Like, I was marking off shit on the, even if you had if you had no car, it didn't matter. That was closer to freedom.
Yeah.
That was closer to independence. And they were like, oh, fucking Uber, dude. You know?
I think one thing that excites me, so this is my second boy,
Mm-hmm.
and one thing that does excite me about boys is that I will find it so much easier to encourage them to go out and date and meet girls and go have fun and go abroad and spend time like in the world discovering themselves. I think it's easier to feel that way for a boy than a girl.
It's safer.
Maybe that's what it is.
It is. I mean, I want that for my daughter too. Even if I was talking about this the other night with my wife's friend. Guys are gonna break her heart. That's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like but I don't want to prevent that from happening.
No, I know.
Now, obviously, do I want? I can't even imagine what would happen if someone was abusive. But guys are gonna cheat on her. Guys are gonna break her heart. But like, I want her to get out there. The ups and the downs. It's like you can't have any sense of. enjoyment unless you've understood what the other side is.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like if you live in this insulated where everything's kind of curated and perfect on your screen.
Well, it's good to hear you say that because a lot of girl dads don't feel comfortable letting their daughters go explore.
Yeah. I mean, there's a certain sense of protectiveness. You know, I'm not going to let her. She's not going to Bali with her female friends or like hot girls summertime. But at the same time, like I said, she's gonna stay. I want her to date. I want her to meet boys or girls.
My dad let me go, and look, I ended up in a hotbox in Azusa.
You were hotboxing Azusa with Carlos and
Alan.
Alan Gomez Esquire. Like, what's Alan doing? I'd love to know what Alan's doing right now.
I would too. I haven't seen Alan in 3 decades. It seems like.
Alan, who grew up in Azusa,
we need to know.
Probably 30 years ago.
Where Alan is.
Give us a ring.
If you find me, you can come on this show.
I'm the director of the FBI.
He's definitely not. I have a feeling he's still in Azusa hotboxing other boxes.
Probably. Going to BJ's.
Yeah.
No, hey, no, I'm a manager now. Hertz Rent a Car. Hey,
Yeah.
Hey, honey. No, that sure looks good on you. That sure
Wildly
looks good on you.
accurate, I'm sure. Oh my gosh, our time's coming to an end.
Yeah.
This has been so fun.
I enjoyed it very much. Thank you.
This was great. Where can people find you?
At Mike Catherwood on Instagram. I think that's probably, and then everything kind of satellite off of that. And then my cousin would kill me at Kulo Breaker, my cousin, alter ego. A lot of people have been making sure they're like, definitely introduce Miss Compton to Rudy. And I said, we'll see how it works out. But at Kulo Breaker, if you want to deal with my cousin, he's a lot more funny and likable than I am. But
We'll have to have him come on sometime.
I mean, he's here if you just wanted to say goodbye.
Okay.
Like, all right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get him. He's in the car hotboxing.
Okay. All I hear is like plastic wrestling. Like, do we have plastic in our pockets? It's a baggie. Is it a fake mustache? It's meth. So your alter ego's allowed to do drugs? That's a really, really good out. Like, I don't do drugs, but she does. Be right back. I don't know why I feel like I can't look over there. I don't want to ruin the surprise. I'm not looking. If I hear a lighter, though, I'm gonna get weird. You don't have a spoon. That'd be weird. If you don't have a fake mustache on when you come back, I'm gonna be disappointed. Oh my God, how did I know? That's a much larger fake mustache than I would have imagined. I was like thinking just the $1. Anyway, what is your name?
My name's Rudy Cisneros. Represent Boyle Heights. Kulo Breaker at Kulo Breaker on that pinche fucking Instagram. And what are those fucking putos?
Pinche. What's pinche?
It means like it's like that fucking Instagram. Like, you know how people like you know how white girls like you they say like, you know, like or like vatos nowadays they say low key.
Low key.
Yeah, low key that restaurant's good or that restaurant's fire or whatever those little bitches say. Like that's like that pinche Rambler. Hey, you know the homie Rambler?
I don't.
Damn, you got big titties. I'm in. For real. I don't mean to say, is that like I'm in like titty haze right now. I can't even think straight. Cause like I feel like
you motorboating son of a bitch.
Oh damn, I love, you know, hey, you ever let your husband, you ever let him motorboat your butt cheeks?
My butt cheeks aren't as big as my boobs.
I know, but if you get deep enough, like you invest, you're like a spelunk, you can fucking like this. Look, sometimes I remember this one Haina. Her name was.
Oh my God, Heina's back.
I remember this one hyena. We used to call her La Joker in the hood, cause her panocha, her pussy was like smiley like that, but she had como se dice labia. They were like big, and I didn't know what to do when I finally came face to face, because I want to provide stimulation to the ladies, But I just remember I was like, damn, like getting kind of like I did like stanky leg in her labia, and lucky I had like a history of boxing, and because she was like smack, like all whipping on my fucking face like that, I remember for like 2 weeks my mustache smelled like ceviche.
Oh,
But that's neither here nor there. What's up? Hey, thank you for letting me come on right now.
you're welcome.
I told my primo, I was like, hey, you're going to go talk to that fucking beautiful güera. Like, you better let me get on the show. And I was like, I looked him in the eyes. He's like, I can't make any promises. And I'm like, fuck you, dog. People like me better, because I'm not all like, starchy like that vato.
Starchy.
You know what I'm saying? I used to know this vato named Starchy. He's from Rosemead. Starchy. That fool lost his leg. He was in a wheelchair. He got shot in the leg at El Pollo Loco in El Monte, but by a fucking bow and arrow. It wasn't even a gun. Someone drove, I know, like Robin Hood or some shit. And he was sitting there at El Pollo Loco like that. He was with the homie Bum, Donut, ceiling fan, recliner chair, Joker, Reaper, and they were sitting there and they're like, nah, for real. It's like, no, Pedro Guerrero's the best dodger. And then a fucking arrow went through his leg and they just cut it off. They didn't even take him to the doctor or nothing. They're like, this is too much hassle. You know what I'm saying?
Insane.
Hey, you into brown men?
We will have you back another day.
You like brown men, don't you?
You'll come back another day.
All right, for sure. Hey,
Do you like a hot box?
More than anything. Are you talking about vagina? Or are you talking about like literally like smoking
Like
weed?
literally smoking weed.
I do, but I like sometimes, I want to make sure that the girls can smell my Dracar Noir, but then if I'm hotboxing, it can fucking seep
Yeah.
in. Especially this brocha right here, it's like pinche absorbent. You know what I'm saying? Absorbent. Like that. Serio. So anyway, it's been a real pleasure. Thank you for giving me like a couple minutes. Thank you for having beautiful bulbous chichis. And thank you for being beautiful and never trust a big butt and a smile.
Pleasure is mine.
Serio.
Thank you guys so much for watching another episode of First Date. We'll see you next time.
First date, baby.
Are you really drinking a glass of milk with dinner?
First date, I can't wait.
You told your mom about me?
Just say you're ready.
Delete my number.